And welcome to another edition of Student of the Game. I'm your boy Ro, managing editor for the OBB Legend and OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys, and welcome to a special edition of Student of the Game. The Miami Hurricanes actually did it. They made a prompt coordinator hire. And we're talking about Lance Guidry, last year's Marshall's defensive coordinator. And in week 2, they pulled off the shocking upset against Notre Dame, and that's where we're going to start on this deep dive here on Student of the Game. So, Notre Dame first. They come out, ace gun, 11 set personnel. Here is a tight end. Here is their running back. Tight end is going to motion away from the 3 side on this 3-by-1 look, and he's trying to create a numbers advantage into the boundary so they can go ahead and run a power scheme to that side. Now, one of the things you're immediately going to notice as we go through this deep dive is essentially you're going to see a lot of stand-up defensive linemen, linebackers, hybrid players, what have you, in this Guidry style of defense. Right here, only 2 down linemen. That is going to be a consistent trait throughout these clips. Now, what is the front? I'm going to keep it simple. When I see a defensive tackle right over the head of the center, they call that a zero tech, meaning he's just heads up on the guy. I'm going to call that odd, right? So this is an odd man look. But even though you're in an odd man traditional 34 looking defense, right, there's a couple things I appreciate. A, they're going to go ahead and attack from this look. They're not going to 2-gap. They're not going to go ahead and engage in this variety. They're going to go ahead and shoot gaps, and that's when the play really goes in favor of Marshall here, because just pay attention. There you go. See him try to swim. He gets the center off balance with that good little quick swim move. Now the left guard's got to come over, so you essentially got this 2-for-1. And look at the numbers, right? I like the fact that the safeties down and distance-wise got closer to the first down marker, because this is going to be a free hitter. They're not going to account for him, and watch what happens. Even though you have a tight end coming across the field, there he is, right? Middle linebacker, he's untouched because obviously center's on the ground. Now you even have that free safety as a free hitter coming down. Plenty of numbers, way to know the down and distance, very attack-style odd man look. Again, watch it. There you go, swims. They're all trying to shoot these gaps from an odd man look. Gives the Notre Dame offensive line, hey, they're formidable in their own right. Some issues, got plenty of numbers here, right? You want to get the running back on the ground, more hats to the ball, Marshall wins that round. We're off and running. And on this 4th and 4, Marshall's going to net the turnover on downs, utilizing some simulated pressure from an odd man front. Again, the odd man front, look at it. There is the defensive tackle head up on the center, but this time it's not your traditional 34. It's like a odd tight look because your defensive ends are sucked in closer. They're not head up over a guy. They're shading a gap. And traditional, like I said, you're going to see a lot of stand-up defenders at the line of scrimmage time and time again in this Guidry style defense. The defense, well, initially it looks like it could potentially have a 2-safety shell. It's going to rotate over the top. This is going to be single high. This is going to be man across the board. Man coverage, man coverage, man coverage. Now the simulated pressure gets Notre Dame to react, and this is how it gets them to react. They're going to do a standard pass pro, but they're going to keep the running back into block. He's not going to go out and be a pass-catching option. So there it is. Even though you saw all this traffic, Marshall's only going to bring 3. And I really like how this linebacker's taught, because he's going to see that he's into pass pro, and now he realizes, all right, that's exactly where I want to keep him, because now I can go ahead and play the pass and cut this off. I like the movement pattern there. Quarterback really had one spot to go with the ball. He's trying to hit a one-on-one on the outside. Great job by the corner to use that sideline as a defender, and that's what they mean by that. If I can ride him out that way, even though it's just one-on-one, that sideline is always going to be that cornerback's defender. Again, let's just watch it in parts. Simulated pressure. They're not going to bring it. They get the advantage on the back end. If you're only bringing 3 and you get them to react by keeping 6 in the block, that means you have way, way more the advantage on the passing side. 8 people, everybody's covered. Great job by the corner. Get them off the field. Bang. This is going to be the tale of 2 different tapes and 2 different interceptions. And they come from 2 different stylistic prerogatives. One's going to be a byproduct of man coverage in a blitz. The other one's going to be a simulated blitz that drops into zone coverage. Exhibit A, Notre Dame 3-by-1 look. This is man coverage, single high safety. Everybody else is going to be taking a man across the board. At the snap of the ball, here comes the blitz. 5 declare early. Your 6th, well, he's reading somebody. He's reading this running back. If the running back would have released to be a pass-catching check-down option, he would have went with him. When he sees him staying in to block, that's when he joins the party. Quarterback reads it wrong. Great play again by the cornerback. University of Miami Hurricane cornerbacks are going to have situations like this to go ahead and factor, especially when you're left into the boundary one-on-one with your defender. Let's go to the next. Again, simulated pressure. This is going to be an odd man look. Once again, stylistically, you see two down linemen. You have 3 standing vertical at the line of scrimmage. Guidry favored this alignment with 2 down linemen 69% of the time last year. And here's what happens. Again, well, you're only bringing 3 to the party, and I marvel at the fact that how quick Marshall's able to go ahead and outmaneuver them with numbers. Here's 3 that are trying to come out into the boundary. There's 5 defenders in this area. Great job by the linebacker here to go ahead, get in distance, get into the flat lane, drift back to take this out. We'll watch this again. And that basically was the curtains for Marshall in the upset. He was initially on the line of scrimmage, broke away. There you go. 1 interception via the blitz, 1 interception via the zone. You have probably heard the term playing the run en route to the quarterback. In this case, I feel that Lance Guidry has his stand-up defensive end playing the pass en route to the quarterback. And what do I mean by that? Well, every offense is going to set what's known as a run strength and a pass strength. Sometimes they're on the same side, sometimes they're on opposite sides. In this 2-by-2 look, however, the pass strength, it's located to the field side or the larger area of the field because the running back could be the pass option. I think in this situation, pay attention to the footwork and exactly what this defender is asked to do. He's initially coming in, and once he sees the running back release, he's not in any kind of area to get a handoff, what have you. So he breaks off and he covers him in the flats. Now, Miami Hurricane fans were like, listen, we were tired of seeing that in the D'Onofrio years. We don't like it when linemen turn around and cover people. You have to have athletic counterparts who are able to do it. University of Miami definitely do. The other thing is, too, this linebacker, he was also in responsibility there, got victimized by what I feel is an illegal pick. Just watch it here. He's also running to the running back, so you have a 2-for-1 out here, and he's just getting hellaciously picked. Play breaks down. He escapes the pocket, extends the play, actually gets a first down on this. Fine, what have you. But I like the system. I feel if the running back was on the other side, you would have saw an essential handoff of sorts. You would have had this defender break off and take the running back if he released. This defender would have came in. But this is exactly how they played it, playing the pass en route to the quarterback. That's how you get more numbers in the passing game, in pass defense, and are a little bit less vulnerable when you make calls like that. This is a super aggressive play call, Miami Hurricane fans. It's 4th and 4. Louisiana comes out in an empty look, 5 wide receivers. And Marshall, under defensive coordinator Lance Guidry, well, they're showing a lot of pressure. 3 down linemen, here you go. You have 5 at the line of scrimmage, another 2 potentially in striking distance. This is the safety. All 11 personnel are within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. You're going to see this last-second communication. Hey, if he comes, I got him. Hey, well, one doesn't come, and anytime you have a 2-for-1 on one side and an empty look when 5 come, that means somebody's coming free, and he takes a shot on the quarterback. Hellacious shot. Again, cover 0. Safety's down in the box. This is man coverage all across the board. Aggressive play call. When you need to be aggressive, be aggressive. Lance Guidry shows a ton of variance on the back end. He changes coverages constantly. And as a former high school quarterback, I'm taking this from the perspective of the Louisiana quarterback, and I'm like, where do you want me to go with this ball? So, ace gun 2x2 look, the concept for Louisiana, they're running a slot fade. They're running a stop underneath. It's kind of like a smash derivative. Complementary on the other side, you're going to run a post from the slot 2, and you're going to hit a stop on the outside. So quarterback's going to read the middle, see the coverage, see if there's any rotation. But watch what happens, because it looks with two safeties, one's not pictured. Count them out. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not pictured 11. It looks cover two safeties, right? Just pay attention right here to the top part of the field, and we'll roll this back up, right? Opening up in zone. He's standing underneath. This is the flat coverage, two safeties over top. Quarterback's going to have some deliberation, and I'll show you why, because it's a hybrid coverage where the outside cornerbacks are in zone, safeties are playing zone. These two inside here on the 2 are playing match. They're playing mans. They're matching the pattern. So watch them turn and run. Here they go. Man, everything else is zone. Quarterback's confused. I'm confused. There comes the sack. Finally, I want you to pay attention to a number because his name has come up. This is number 0. I can see James Williams in this variety as well. On the back end, they're taking care of it. They're kind of disguising their coverage, kind of a hybrid coverage. You get the cornerback. He can come down into the box, create havoc. From that vantage point, we saw in the last clip how he can go into a pass covering responsibility. They swallow it up, 3rd and 9, get pretty creative. I love the play call. Well done. Now over to the Georgia Southern film. And 2nd and 10, I like the post-snap window change, and I love the wherewithal in the communication from the secondary. So Georgia Southern, they set their pass strength to the field side. Obviously, there's more field on this side of the field, and that's why they call it the field side. Short side, also known as the boundary side. So pass strength, rush strength to the field, and I like this. Post-snap window change, they're going to go from a 2-safety look. Right here, safety is going to patrol more middle. There's going to be a rotation where this safety is going to get his middle third. This is going to rotate to a cover 3. Responsible for his third, responsible for his third, responsible for deep middle. Now, this is where I like the communication and the understanding of what's going on. He's got a deep third. Let's pay attention to the boundary corner first. Once he sees the shallow release, notice what he does. He passes it off. Eyes to the quarterback, but there's a good indication here. If somebody's leaving my side of the field, good chance somebody's coming. Watch his eyes, picks it up, finds a post from the opposite side of the field that was coming in his direction. Great wherewithal. So now we're going to go to the field side corner, and I appreciate him understanding in this bunch look, and on the onset of the release, see how they're driving out? At this point, watch his back pedal. He's making sure he's using that leverage outside. Quarterback's looking, doesn't see anything. He's just going to throw this late. It's kind of a guess if you ask me. Right into that corner who was taking that back pedal, getting outside, anticipating an outbreaking route, understanding what he had. And finally, again, just some of the loose ends. Safety, 2, post-snap. Quarterback's looking at it. Now he sees something in the middle of the field. All these crossers are basically running into no man's land. He takes a shot outside. Everything's covered. Good job by the secondary there. I want to call this clip Trap You with Geometry, and I'll explain that later. First, I want to look at the line of scrimmage. 3 down linemen this time, 2 stand-up defenders at the line of scrimmage. This is a huge staple in the Lance Guidry defense. We're seeing it from clip to clip constantly with stand-up defenders at the line of scrimmage. Now, they're going to go ahead and run a bit of a stunt. Offensive line's got to identify if they all come, if they don't. But watch the stunt. There you go. Here's a stunt inside. Feints it. Gets the offensive line to react. Backs off. He's essentially taking the shallow cross. Actually looks behind him. Okay? So that's what they did at the front end of the play. On the back end, trap you with geometry. So if I can get the offensive line to react, a bit of simulated pressure, they do bring 4. They simulate it from one side. But watch, when you have enough on your back end, see the triangle? It's like a 4-on-3. They're trapping you inside the geometry. Now let's go to the boundary side. Stop. Again, let's trap you with geometry. 2 triangles of death, essentially. Now, quarterback doesn't feel comfortable with this throw. If he anticipates this, maybe he could go ahead and hit this inside of that window. He doesn't, so he's going to check it down. And I like that right here by the boundary corner. Showing high intelligence again, knowing this. Hey, let this get checked down all day. This is short of the sticks. Impede the quarterback. Make him think twice from hitting this first down potential. Check down, this is what you want. They don't complete it. And they had the numbers there as well. Trap you with geometry. 3rd and 5 and playing the pass en route to the run. Here you'll see it once again. 2 down linemen, which is the configuration that Guidry likes to favor the most. James Madison, ace gun, 2x2 look. They're motioning into the formation, into this stack look right now. Now, once the threat of the run is gone, that one step in realizes the threat is no longer there, you'll watch that defender go ahead and float into the slant window. And guess where the ball goes? Interception. Once again, in a situation right here, if this was indeed, in fact, going to be given to the running back, obviously they're in a prime position there to snuff out any quarterback zone read element, anything coming his way. It's not. Let me go play the pass. You have a 4-on-2 situation here with a safety over the top. Just killing them with numbers. I want you to go ahead and watch the 1-gap and 2-gap ideologies that intertwine and mix on this play. In particular, let's focus on the defensive tackles, shall we? These are the individuals with their hand in the dirt. You're going to see 2 defensive tackles in one a 4-eye and one in a 2-tech. What do you mean by that? Right over the center's head would be a 0. Over the guard would be a 2. So 0, 2, but inside the shoulder would be a 4-eye. So let's pay attention to the 2-tech because initially what does he do? Shoots, engages. Now why do we call this a 2-gap? Because now he's responsible for 2 gaps on either shoulder. Now back to that 4-eye, he shoots, but then he gets here and he is in that same kind of variety. He's going to play gaps now on either side of him. This is naturally where he got to in terms of the way that the offensive line tried to block him. Now watch what happens. They disengage, and they both close on the tackler. That is what we call 2-gapping. Now, on the outside, you'll see right there, coming in, meeting the first blocker, not necessarily playing a 2-gap kind of variety. When you have the defensive lineman here, keeping up the big beef, you got a linebacker who's essentially clear of any kind of blocks. That bodes well, especially for smaller, quicker linebackers, because they can just go ahead and snuff it out. Great job there by Marshall's defense on a 1st and 20 to snuff out the run, using different styles of gap systems to go ahead and get that play successfully bottled up. And this is going to be the last clip of this Guidry preview. It was a blast, Canes fans. Now, we saw some defensive tackles 2-gapping, but don't worry. We got some penetrating defensive tackles that can get after the quarterback. And so does Marshall. Because on this 1st and 10 situation, 140, getting close to the end of the half, they pin their ears back. Nice little swim right there. Gets into the backfield. Let's meet at the QB. Sack. As always, come check us out at the OBB Legend. I'm your boy Ro, managing editor for the OBB Legend and OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys. Bang.